What up, though, and welcome to Lions Nation Unite. Today, we are going to talk about. I'm going to talk aloud amongst myself. Truthfully, is Brad Holmes getting a little too cocky? But first and foremost, I need you guys to do me the biggest favor right now and PayPal me exactly $1,342. I appreciate it very much. Or you hit the like button, whatever is easiest for you. But let's get into it, guys. My guy, Mike Payton, formerly of Pride of Detroit, now with A to Z Sports, has been writing for the Lions, or not for the Lions, but about the Detroit Lions for a while now, for as long as I've been in the business, right? And so I've done interviews with Mike, with the podcast with Mike. He actually filled in for Spencer on one of the earlier episodes of Woodward Heavyweights before we were even a daily show over there, on the main network. And I got respect for Mike. I do. I think I have respect for anybody who's willing to take a step back and just assess an entire situation, because there are fans and writers, obviously more so fans, that will just, my team did this, I'm riding behind that, and in some sense, I do respect that. Like I wish I could be that way. I truly do. I feel like I was that way once upon a time, and then Matt Patricia happened. And I was just fed up. But I've always been analytical. Like I'm very stubborn. If we get an argument, like I have to, stuff has to be fact checked, right? I'm not just gonna take you for your word. And then my guy Spencer, I do the show with. He sometimes he gets offended by it, but like that's just how I am. And so I'm very analytical of things. And so I think Mike's the same way. And so I respect the work that he puts out. And he recently wrote an article asking, is Brad Holmes too cocky? Is Brad Holmes? There's the actual title. Let me say it correctly. Is Brad Holmes feeling himself too much, and will that overconfidence hurt the Lions? This was 15 hours ago, as of this recording. Um, I think it's an interesting conversation because recently Brad Holmes was on the flagship station of the Detroit Lions, and he did an interview on the morning show, and where he was asked by Jim Costa, like, hey, do you at least understand why Lions fans are eager to get another edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? And Brad Holmes, persisted with, "No, I don't. We have Aiden Hutchinson. Everybody just wants another Aiden Hutchinson." And it goes in the route of, like, there's only 5 to 6 premier guys at the edge position in the league, and other information along that the lines of another Aiden Hutchinson. But in reality, is we just want another guy to rely on. And to be honest with you, if you're taking a step back and assessing the entire situation for the Detroit Lions, we haven't had that. It's been something different every single year. I believe his rookie year was Charles Harris with a mix of Romeo Quara. Years prior after that was like Josh Pascal and who. I mean, I'll pull up the roster. I'll look it up. I'm kind of curious myself. There's never been a consistent answer there. There just hasn't. I think the biggest investment they made outside of a second round pick in Josh Pascal probably has been Marcus Davenport. And I think when healthy, Marcus Davenport is phenomenal, to be honest with you. I think Marcus Davenport is exactly what they're looking to get out of a player, in every sense of the form. Just a big body dude who's going to force quarterbacks out of the pocket and into the arms of an Aiden Hutchinson or whoever it may be at that point. We do like the blitz a lot. We did like a blitz a lot. Aaron Glenn's no longer here, but there's not been like a steady name you can rely on year to year, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. And now that we've entered our window of Super Bowl contention, it feels like that should be a bigger priority to the organization. At least for fans, it is. And the reason why I think this stems to is a Brad Holmes cocky conversation, because he gaslit us. He did what you do to your side piece, whether you're male or female, or even just in the days that you had a side piece, when you're not quite dating somebody yet, but you got a few people, you got a roster, and maybe one wants to take a step serious, but you're not ready to commit to that yet. Like, hey, you got to earn your starting spot, but you got to put it lightly, or you got to distract it, dress it up a little bit differently. Brad did that. We said, Brad, do you know why we're looking for an edge? And Brad said, we're not going to get another Aiden Hutchinson. But I didn't ask for another Aiden Hutchinson. We're asking for somebody that we can rely on to at least be there. Like Marcus Davenport, very good when healthy. You can't rely on him to be there. He's played like 4 games, 5 games, 6 games in the past 2 years. Like that's not. Unfortunately, it's not reliable, and I hate like ragging on guys with injuries history, especially at the professional level, because yeah, you are a supreme athlete. You are the 1% of human beings. Like it's, and those people work hard too. We all know tall people. We all know big people. They're not always in the NFL. They don't always have the drive or work ethic or athleticism. Let's be honest. There are some God given traits in there too. But at the NFL level, hard work is a part of that. And I do respect all professional athletes in that realm. But one guy is consistently getting hurt. We've seen it our entire life. Some guys just, that's what they deal with. That's what, for whatever reason, if it's genetics, if it's just not properly taking care of your body at any point in your life, even. So Marcus Davenport is that. And then rolls into his Brad Holmes cocky because you didn't address the edge position uh, until the 6th round. And personally, you guys saw the Ahmed Hassan video. If you haven't, please go make sure you check that out. I think he could be a rotating piece on this defense for damn sure. I think he might be in a situation where he maybe have to be like a full time piece. I mean, I don't know. We don't have a for sure answer that we're comfortable with. Um, so that starts a cocky conversation. Like, hey, we need this edge position, but you're doing like, where's the urgency here? There was some urgency when you lost the Hutch, and that makes sense. You got Zadarius Smith. Cockiness, maybe you let him go because you're like, you know what, we're good without him. In reality, Zadarius Smith and Nate Hudson, I would have loved to see that, and I understand why they did it. Like $15 million worth of cap savings, the 10 this year, the 5 is going to be add on this year. Completely an understanding of that. I'm just going into like reasons why one may write an article asking, is Brad Holmes feeling himself, and will it hurt the Lions? So is Brad Holmes feeling himself in terms of the structure of this team, the coaches, that he doesn't need to address the edge position with anything serious, anything of commitment or anything that like you can not poke holes in. Like if you wanted to be a jerk, you could poke holes in Aiden Hudson coming back from injury. I'm not that person. I think Hudson's going to come back to be himself, but I could poke holes in any other solution at the edge position right now. Moving on. Another reason why people may think Brad may be getting a little cocky, and I don't know, maybe it's in this article, but this is actually coming from me. So I can't put this on Mike. This is my half of like, I could see why the question is being proposed, and it goes to the draft, which is where you never want to question Brad Holmes. Like, it's not necessarily a career suicide, but it's a sure way to end up in a clip. It's a sure way to end up with a clown emoji. Like it's like you will look foolish questioning Brad Holmes when it comes to the draft, and that's been consistent as soon as he stepped into the building. To be quite honest with you, once you get to like the 3rd round, whatever. I'm not really tripping off of that, but he's going to get a Hall of Players. I think where one could talk about him being a little, maybe feeling himself a little too much, is these past 2 years out of character. He's gone and he's given up a 3rd round pick in exchange, gave a 3rd round pick from this season to draft the guy in the 4th round. Last year, did that with Giovanni Manu, right? You're scratching your head like, oh, all right, that's weird, but we can make a little bit of sense of that, right? So like, okay, well, I guess that 3rd round pick is going to be closer to the 4th round than it is going to be a 3rd round pick or a middle of the pack 3rd round pick. So, okay, maybe it's like a 4-4-4 situation. You could twist your mind to that. And it's a project piece too. So it's like, okay, well, you did that. And then you got a guy that we don't even know he's going to be for sure yet. I do think Giovanni Manu could be a starter in this league. I think that's a whole other story. We go down that road if you want to. I'd love to. We need to make off-season content. Let's do it. But okay, so that happened last year. This year, and I'm sure it's out there on YouTube, and I know it's out there on the Heavyweight Show when we played it. Brad Holmes gave 3 3rd-round picks for 2 6 and a 3rd. So essentially 1/3 was a swap. Our back end 3rd, the high end 3rd that we traded, and I forgot who we traded with. I'll look at the details if you guys want. I will actually. I'm gonna look at the details because I want to be accurate in what we're talking about. So Isaac Tesla trade details. I know that's the specifics of what was given up. I would just like to know what team. Okay, so Detroit gave up pick 102 in the 3rd round of this year's draft, and both of their 3rd round picks in next year's draft to get into a position to select Isaac Tesla, And that was at they got 2 6 round picks by the way too from this year. But I'm trying to find out what pick Isaac Tesla was at. I think he was like 74, 73, 74. I could be wrong on that. They moved to 70. So they got Isaac Tesla at pick 70. So you moved up 32 spots from 102 to 70, but you gave up 2 third round picks to do it. And that it's still hard for me to stomach, to be honest with you guys. And I do like Isaac Tesla. There's nothing out there of me saying I don't like Isaac. I think he actually, for what the Detroit Lions offense has been the past couple of years, operating within the middle of the field, I think Isaac Tesla's perfect for that. Go look at some of the routes he ran in college. I mean, that's one thing. No drops. Come on, dude. Like he might. And it's Brad Holmes who made the pick. Like he might actually become a dog. Like maybe I don't even want to get into that. He might be crazy good. Let's be real about it. And in that scenario, this would be worth it. It really would. However, it's still very much a question mark. And those 2 third round picks, let's look at what the Detroit Lions gave up to grab Terrion Arnold just last year. In the first round, you used a 3rd round pick to move up. In the first round, 5 picks up, 4 picks up with the Dallas Cowboys. You gave a 3rd round pick to move up into the first round of the NFL draft. Okay? You gave 2 of those up to move up into the third. And another thing, too, I even go beyond that. Chase Young was available in the trade market 2 years ago, the year the Detroit Lions went to the NFC Conference Championship game. And I wanted in the edge rusher conversation was going on then too. We've been as a fan base in pursuit of an edge rusher opposite Van Hudson for quite some time, and at one point I spearheaded the charge. And there's I believe it was Chase Young that went for a compensatory 3rd round pick to the San Francisco 49ers. And whether he makes or breaks your team, he's definitely not going to break your team. The 49ers went to Super Bowl that year, beating the Detroit Lions, in which I think he got a sack, but I think he got Gibbs in the backfield. He played a good game. There's one play where it was like an angle pursuit situation on Jahmyr Gibbs, who he makes everybody look foolish. Whatever it is, he would have made your team better. And for a 3rd round pick, if I'm giving up assets, I would rather give up an asset to help my team win a Super Bowl now more than I would like to give it up in a 3rd round of the NFL draft to get a guy that I don't know what he's going to be. And he's damn sure probably not going to be productive for my team in year 1, especially with how set this roster has been, how set this offense has been with what works and what doesn't. And let's keep it as even keel as possible. Let's keep it as turnkey from what been left as possible because it worked really, really well. And so that was my beef with the trade. Now, does that make is Brad feeling himself too much? Maybe. Maybe. But he's also been doing a really, really good job. So is he feeling himself too much, or is he just more comfortable in his position where he can experiment a little bit more? Another thing too is this roster. If you're talking about him just not being feeling himself or not being cocky, I've been trying to avoid the word cocky. We'll use it. He's been good enough to be cocky. Like you could be cocky if you could back it up. And so they say I'm sometimes not cocky, it's confidence. I think Brad's confident in his ability, and because he's proven it time and time again, year after year. And so I think he's starting to experiment with that a little bit. On top of the fact that like this roster is so dang deep these days that you don't know how many of these guys in the back half of these drafts are going to make the team straight up. We cannot guarantee these guys make our roster. That's how good this guy's been at drafting. We are going to reset the safety market 2 years in a row. So I get it from that standpoint too. It's like, okay, well, let me go get my guy because I don't even know how many of these guys in this back end are even going to make my team. I think he's just more comfortable, obviously confident. I don't think you can necessarily fully get back behind those trades. By the way, like we do have to see them work out. If you are just a big Brad Holmes believer, I mean, I get it. I really do. I am. It's going to remain in a. I don't know many words. The word I'm looking for, but it's going to be. It's going to be I don't have a final decision on if I like. I don't like them. I'll tell you that I don't like the trades, but them working out, there's no final say so on that. Just they're just not at the current moment. I think we may not see a final say so on a Manu project until even next year, and that's backed by Jordan Malata, I believe it is, for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they drafted him in the second round. They sat him 2 years as he turned to an NFL football player because they drafted him straight from freaking New Zealand, I think it was. Um, and we have the Tongan Tower of Terror and Giovanni Manu, and I think we're working on that too. Uh, Long story short, this was a therapy session for myself. Sure, Brad Holmes maybe feeling himself. Is he feeling himself too much? He's yet to be determined. But I think he is validated in feeling himself because my man's been balling. You know, you're allowed to go for a little bit of a heat check when you have been on absolute fire, and he has. The trade stuff, I mean, I could talk about that all day. I would, I'd love that back forth and that stuff. I think I could wham something at you every time in terms of like it not being the best move to be made. But then again, if you give a 2 third-round picks for Amon-Ra St. Brown on a rookie deal, that's an important part of this too. Would you do it? Yeah, you would. So if he turns out to be an all pro, that's trade's gonna be worth it. But at the end of the day, sure, Brad's feeling himself. That's the point of this video, right? He's feeling himself. He deserves to. I have no problem with it at all whatsoever. But make sure you guys comment down below. I want to do more of these. Sit back, just relax, talk, allow talk. Like you guys are hearing my thoughts. As crazy as my mind is, you're hearing me. But as I go, I'm working this out, and I'm still thinking about it right now, trying to just serve the ball back on the other side. Because is he doing too much? But we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see. And he's deserved that time. Uh, just like if I've deserved your time, I very much appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash that like button. If you enjoy my time, let me know what you guys would like to talk about down below, and make sure you subscribe as well. Hit that notification bell. I want to know what Detroit Lions topics you guys want to talk about. I need the passion from the fan base to help wake me up, because right now we've been too good. It's been too easy to just roll the ball out there and say, yeah, they're going to be great. Challenge me. All right. Give me something. I'll say it. If I don't like it, I'll say it. All right. If there's something you think's going fishy with the Detroit Lions that you're not a big fan of, put it in the chat. We'll check. We'll look into it. We'll turn every rock. We'll turn every stone. And if you disagree with what I gotta say, let me know in the chat as well. Because again, I want to take a step back and assess every piece of information to try to get the answer to it. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you hitting that like button. There's nothing wrong with you heading over to LionsNationUnite.com to get some of your freshest Detroit Lions gear. I personally rock the hats. I got my Green Bay sucks. I got my Vikings sucks. It's crazy how big the Vikings became like our rival. We used to not care at all. And now it's like, I mean, for me at least, I hate the Minnesota Vikings. They're fans, really, not the team as much, the fans. But yeah, make sure you guys hit subscribe, and thank you for taking the time. Comment down any other topics you'd like to talk about below, or let me know your take. Is Brad Holmes feeling himself a little too much, and will it hurt the Detroit Lions?